Hello students, I welcome you all to EPG Parshala. This is Dr. P.A. Rajeshwari, Assistant Professor in the Department of Food Science and Nutrition, Avinashalingam Institute for Home Science and Higher Education for Women, Coimbatore. Today we are going to discuss about the module ISO 9001 Quality Management System. A quality management system is a set of policies, processes and procedures required for planning and execution in the core business area of an organization. ISO 9001 is an example of a quality management system. Some people generically refer to the group of documents as QMS, but specifically it refers to the entire system. A QMS integrates the various internal processes within the organization and intends to provide a process approach for project execution. A process-based QMS enables the organizations to identify, measure, control and improve the various core business processes that will ultimately lead to improved business performance. ISO 9001-2008 is the world's foremost quality management standard used by hundreds of thousands of organizations in over 170 countries around the globe. It sets out the essential requirements for a practical and effective quality management system, which is in essence a system for minimizing risk and maximizing opportunity. ISO 9001 is suitable for any organization regardless of their size and industry. It can be used to focus on improving performance in a particular department, plant or site. However, it is generally most effective when implemented together and throughout an organization at every level. ISO 9001-2008 is an update of an earlier ISO 9001-2000 and is a part of series of quality management system standards, sometimes referred to as ISO 9000. These comprises ISO 9000, which is based on fundamentals and vocabulary, which introduces the basic principles underlying management systems and explains the terminology. ISO 9001 requirements, which specifies the criteria for certification. ISO 9004 guidelines for performance improvements goes beyond ISO 9001 by identifying how ISO 9001 can be used as a springboard for improving the efficacy and efficiency and effectiveness of a quality management systems. Increase in organization's performance and productivity. Certification improves efficiency through reduction of waste and systematic measurement of performance. Having a robust system in place gives more time to invest in making money. Enhanced customer satisfaction. Customers know what to expect from a quality certified company. ISO 9001 systematically tracks errors and prevents them, thus reducing the number of customer complaints. Global recognition. ISO 9001 is a globally recognized quality standard that can open new market opportunities or just maintain current market share. Certification also attracts investment. Employee engagement. ISO 9001 quality management system encourages communication and increases morale among the employees. Competitive advantage. Certification provides an advantage over competitors or the opportunity to compete on the same basis as larger organizations. Focus on objectives and customer expectations. Greater emphasis on meeting customer requirements and implied needs through continuous incremental improvement. Now let us see about the key principles behind ISO 9001. The 8 principles below are not auditable but are fundamental attributes of any quality management system. They have taken from ISO 9000-2005 quality management systems, fundamentals and vocabulary, and have served as the basis for the new ISO 9001-2008 standard. Number 1. Customer focus. It is essential for an organization to understand current and future customer needs. We should strive to meet customer requirements and exceed customer expectations. This could be done by communication throughout the organization, measuring customer satisfaction, and systematically managing customer relationships. Ensuring a balanced approach and acting on findings is vital. Number 2. Leadership. Leaders should provide a clear vision of organization's future and set challenging goals and targets. It is only through unity of purpose and direction of employees that achieves organization's objective. Leaders should maintain internal environment where people can get fully involved by establishing trust and eliminating fear. Number 3. Involvement of people. People should be a core competency of every company. Involving people and their abilities at all levels can only bring benefit to an organization. Motivating people, holding them accountable for their own performance, and involving them in decision making inspires innovation and creativity. Number 4. Process approach. Managing activities and resources as a process gives clear indications of what all the inputs and outputs are, and thus gives a clear idea of how to achieve our desired outcomes. Number 5. System approach to management. Organization's effectiveness and efficiency depends on ability to identify, understand and manage interrelated process as a system. Understanding interdependencies is key. Number 6. Continual improvement. Continuously improving the process and systems and thus improving the organizational overall performance should be a permanent organizational objective. Number 7. Factual approach to decision making. Decision should be based on the analysis of reliable and accurate data and information. Analysis combined with experience and institution is a powerful decision making tool. Number 8. Mutually beneficial supplier relationship. The enhancement of the ability to create value depends upon the relationship with suppliers. There should be a balance between short-term gains and long-term considerations, which then results in increased flexibility and optimization of cost and resources. We will now see about the fundamental elements of ISO 9001. The Plan, Do, Check, Act PDCA cycle is the foundation of all ISO management system standards. The cycle ensures development, continuous improvement and control of the management system in question. It is a simple tool that ensures constant monitoring of organization's effectiveness. Plan. Establishing the architecture of quality management system of the standards where it requires the identification of the processes, their success criteria, the interrelationship between processes and the system for checking the results. Do. Implementing the plans and using the quality management system. Check. Reviving whether the results are satisfactory at appropriate intervals against the ISO 9001 requirements. Act. Improving the quality management system or acting on the challenges and issues found in the reviews. Now let us see about the PDCA cycle in detail. The PDCA cycle starts with management, as it is up to them to identify appropriate processes and relevant areas of focus. Process identification. Appropriate process identification is essential to a particular system, and the key is to start with two processes and then decide if sub-processes are necessary rather than working bottom up. Each process has to also have an owner that is responsible for the activities that relate to the success criteria of the processes. Planning and review. In order to successfully plan quality system before implementation, a quality manual and a number of documents outlining procedures are required. The areas of documentation are document control, records control, internal audits, non-conforming product, corrective action, and preventive action. Additional procedures may be required if without them the process might end up having variable or unpredictable results, such as those caused by inexperienced staff, complicated parameters, or other risks. The QMS is, after all, a system of minimizing business risks. Fundamental direction. Owners or managers of an organization should establish the fundamental direction of the QMS using the quality policy. There are several aspects that have to be thought through while designing the quality policy: strategy, process criteria, customer focus, and resources. Do. Implementation and use. Having established the system, it has to be used to see that it works in the way it was intended. It will be necessary to use the procedures, forms, equipments, and instructions in the way it was planned. The direction for management and the assigned resources should make this part of the processes fairly easy to implement. It is important to plan and define the processes all along the supply chain. This might include sales, purchasing, research and development, manufacturing, and delivery. Check the review of results. At appropriate intervals, the results of QMS should be revived. The intervals will be short when the system is new, but can be longer once the QMS becomes mature. The reporting of results against the process success criteria should be regular and be used by management to ensure that the business is on track. Records should be designed to facilitate, promote recording as well as the early detection of problems. A key milestone in evaluating the QMS is the management review, a meeting which assesses whether the QMS has succeeded in meeting, which includes strategic objectives, process success criteria, and ISO 9001 requirements. Reviving perceived customer satisfaction is a key metric that has to be revived. It is recognized that the handling of complaints is not enough. Customers may just move their business to a competitor. Probably the most important characteristics of a successful quality management system is internal audits. It is expected that an organization that does not do internal audits is very likely to have their certification revoked, as their system is probably out of control. Act continuous improvement. Improvement is another name for dealing with challenges of the organization. Challenges can be tackled either with corrective action or preferably with preventive action. All corrective actions need to be recorded and preventive actions designed for recurring problems. A checklist with the following questions should be asked: customer focus, quality policy, objectives, plan the system, review at regular intervals, principles, etc. Now let us have a look at the tip of ISO 9001. Top management commitment is vital if the system is to be introduced successfully. Look at what system have in place at the moment. ISO 9001-2008 will allow to keep the principles that work while refining those that do not. Top management should determine the key processes of the organization. Ensure there are good internal communication challenges and processes within the organization. Staff needs to be informed of what's going on. Involve your staff in the processes that the organization uses. Clearly lay out a well communicated plan of activities and time scale. Now we shall see the key steps of getting certified for ISO 9001. Number 1. Applying. Any institution, any organization can make certification application through online quotations, form or by phone, fax and email. We will review all the information and provide you. ISO will review all the information and provide us with a company specific quotation. Our quotations cover a 3-year period corresponding to the certification cycle and are calculated to make sure that every customer receives the certification service best suited to their needs. Number 2. Gap assessment. Applicants can proceed at their own pace with assessment dates arranged to suit. Gap assessment can be done as follows. Conduct an on-site analysis of current system, assess this against the relevant standard, prepare a report highlighting the gaps between current system and the standard. A gap assessment is optional and it is not a requirement of the certification process. Preliminary assessment. Stage 1. The preliminary assessment involves an inspection of documentation and a review ranging over various areas including the proposed scope of registration, the status of implementation of management system, the appropriate regulatory and legal requirements, management policies and objectives. The system addresses the key areas of the business, site-specific activities, key management elements which includes internal audits, reviews and complaint procedures, readiness to move on to stage 2 of the assessment. The preliminary assessment normally takes place on site. After the preliminary assessment is completed, a brief report evaluating the readiness to proceed to the next stage and identifying any areas that need to be improved before moving to stage 2. Number 4. Registration assessment. Stage 2. The registration assessment involves a full review of the management system including relevant records and documents. Its purpose is to confirm the management system is properly controlled and has predictable outcomes. At the end of the registration assessment, NSAI issues a detailed report together with the outcome. Surveillance and reassessment. At least once a year, NSAI visits each registered company to ensure that the management system is being maintained and is achieving its expected outcomes. During each visit, part of the management system is reviewed in depth. Certificates expire every 3 years, with the expiry date indicated on the certificate. Before the date, NSAI undertake a detailed assessment reviewing the performance of the whole management system to make sure every element is performing satisfactorily. The results of the previous visits are taken into account. During the period of registration, changes are inevitable. NSAI works with each registered organization to make sure that the management system remains sound. Normally, change can be revived and assessed during routine surveillance visits. In case where changes leads to the breakdown of the system, NSAI reserves the right to suspend or revoke certification. To conclude, the main things to be kept in mind about ISO 9001 includes the following points. Top management commitment is vital if the system is to be introduced successfully. Number 2, look at what system we have in place at the moment. ISO 9001-2008 will allow an individual or an organization to keep the principles that work for you while refining those that do not. Number 3, top management should determine the key process of the organization. Number 4, ensure these are good internal communication channels and processes within the organization. Staff needs to be kept informed of what's going on. Number 5, involve staff in the process of the organization uses. Number 6, give some thought to process interaction. It is important that the people with the organization do not work in isolation but work as a team for the benefit of the customer and the organization. Number 7, the process should be looked at as good management practice. If the organization is well managed, the quality should be automatically achieved. Number 8, do not ignore the impact that introducing these systems will have on customers and suppliers. Speak to them to gain insight as to how they view the services and how they feel improvements could be made. Number 9, clearly lay out a well communicated plan of the activities and time scale. Make sure everybody understands them and their role in achieving success. And number 10, make it fun. Competitions for the first completed process that can be seen working will provide increased motivation. Thank you.